I don't want anybody to misconvey or misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not trying to go in on Gigi. Gigi is a beautiful woman, drop dead gorgeous. You can tell she makes goals, crushes them, and things fall in line. I believe that she had envisioned a life with Lovey. She had been making plans like she said. She believed every word Lovey told her. He could have meant those words when he said it. They were dating. They were a couple. He was sending her money. Isn't a man supposed to help a woman that he's dating? She has her business. She could have been providing services to his church. I don't know because the receipts are not receipts. Those receipts, some from iPhones, all with any identifying markers, like bulletproof identifying markers, like the phone number, blank dot. All you see is a name. A person can program my name in a phone. That don't mean that's my number. That doesn't mean that's me. I believe Gigi's ego was crushed. She had envisioned a world where she would be the new Miss Lovey. And just like with everything else, everything was falling in line. In her parallel universe. In Lovey's parallel, he was just dating multiple women, vetting who he would marry. But in her parallel, she's the wife. She's going to be the first lady. She'll be married to a world-renowned pastor. She'll be the Mrs. Lovey Elias. You can't convince me that even she stated that that's how she felt. So to see this man, because hell, when I had a breakup, just to see, if I see my ex in the market, more than likely she's going to his page, seeing the lifestyle of he and his wife, and having to look at that, the man she thought she believed she would spend the rest of her life with another woman. Living well, doing good. And she's her construct. Remember that movie Inside Out? When you've gone through trauma or the ego crush, you start to hear these constructs. And if you are not educated on it, you will believe that that's God talking to you. It honestly sounds like that Gigi is trying to walk herself through a dark night of the soul because she put her all into something. It's one thing to just, I don't know how this going to work. It might work out. It might not. But to put your all into something and believe 100% that something is going to come to pass and it doesn't, it can trigger like a dark night of the soul. And you will hear things and they will be constructive. This is because they are the constructs, not necessarily God speaking to you. And it looks like Gigi is trying to work something through her mind. And the first thought she hears comes to her, she thinks that's truth. That's not necessarily true. And that does not mean that is God speaking to her. And let me tell you something. A lot of these pastors that's getting on here agreeing with her, and a lot of these old heads that's getting on here agreeing with her, they don't care about the human toll or the psychological toll that it's going to take on that girl. She don't like Lovey. I'm here to take Lovey down. I'm going to stand by her. But not thinking about the human toll that it's going to take on her as a human being. That's the church's MO though. I'm going to jump on whatever bandwagon back what I feel like it should back. Not thinking about the human toll that it's going to take on this young lady. Hearing voices, she states. Hearing the voice of God. Well, you're not mistaken like you were mistaken with Lovey when you believed everything he said. What wasn't God telling you were going to marry Lovey? Then you perceived that it was God telling you were going to marry Lovey? So where you packed up and moved to another state, walking by faith and not by sight? Can you possibly be mistaken about this like you were about that? Honestly, and this is what I'm saying. Nobody's thinking about the mind state she's in. Notice Gigi take no. Ain't none of them concerned about you as a human being. They're concerned, they have a vested interest in taking down Lovey. I wonder why. Wouldn't be for airtime, would it? Don't none of them care about that girl. Don't none of them care about the human toll that's taken on her. They care about one thing, solidifying a spot that they know Lovey is in. Be he right or be he wrong. He a man, he may have his ways. That ain't what I care about Gigi. I care about the young women's hearts and whose hearts and minds get tangled up in this game of hearts and minds that pastors play with one another. Because if you crack Gigi, they're going to be on to the next story. All of them. Hell, you don't even have to crack. Let her holler enough. Let another T.D. Jakes debacle happen. And you'll be yesterday's news.